Hello, this is Christine. It's Monday, November 9, 2015. It's in the afternoon, and I just realized what my castle dream from last night is all about, and it actually has me in tears. I know what happened. I know what my dream from last night means. My dad didn't make it out of the castle. The Dark Lord ended up getting him, catching him, draining the light and life out of him, the energy out of my dad, and my dad ended up going dark himself. He changed sides. It is like with a light bulb. If you turn the light bulb off, it goes dark. If you take the light and life out of a person, they go dark. My dad didn't make it out of the castle. I did, however, and I ended up wandering around out in the wilderness and in the mountains, looking for him and waiting for him. But he never came, and that is why most if not all of my life I have been searching for my dad's love, but he was never able to give it to me. It was because he was dark. His light and love had been taken from him. The dad I knew and loved in the past was gone, and only this dark monster was left, who misused and abused our family. How I came to this conclusion is I was wondering to myself if my dad and I did know each other in previous lifetimes, like in the 1400s when this dream took place. Then obviously he and I would have unfinished business if we did know each other in previous lifetimes. So what would that unfinished business be? And maybe that is why he and I used to fight so much during my growing up years. I fought him because I was trying to reach his heart, because I saw that he was not in touch with his heart anymore, and I wanted to get him to love again. But he fought me because he did not like the light and the love that I was shining out at him. It was too bright for him, so he had to beat the shit out of me and try and dull my light and put it out. But I fought him and wouldn't allow my light to go out, nor would I allow myself to give up on him. He and I literally were like night and day, which is interesting because if he was dark and he went to night, and if I was light then I was day, we were opposites. And it's true because I remember thinking that when I was growing up, that he and I, we were complete opposites. But I also needed him. And how, he and I were complete opposites. My mom even saw it. She would say to us that he and I were almost identical, yet we were complete opposites. Because we were both, stubborn, quite frankly. I refused to give up on him, and he refused to let me change him or whatever. I came back into his life, apparently. I was born as his daughter again, to try and save him, is why I think I'm back. And in truth, that really has been my mission in life. Ever since I was little, I've been trying to save him. I've been trying to help him, because I saw how dark he had become, and how detached he had become from his heart. I have been trying for years to try and reach him in the heart, but it was always to no avail. For all these years, this is real life. This is really how my life turned out with him. That is because the spell or the trance over him that the Dark Lord had put over everybody in his castle, back in the 1400s, and from my dream, the spell or the trance had to be broken over him first in order for him to even be able to hear me calling or trying to reach him. It was the trance and the spell that I mentioned in my dream. He fell under it when he never got out of the castle, and the Dark Lord caught him. He he never got out. He got the light and the life sucked out of him, and the love, and then he went dark, and the spell and the trance fell over him. Oh my goodness. It all makes so much sense now. The reason I went dark in my life, and this is in my present lifetime, for those 21 years, is because I ended up going back to the castle to look for my dad when he did not show up in the wilderness or in the mountains like we were supposed to meet, because we had to get out of the building individually, but we were going to meet outside of it. And I think my arguing with him was me finding him and trying to reach him. I found him. I went back into the castle and I found him. And I was trying to reach him and talk some sense to him, but he couldn't be reached because he was under the spell and under the trance and darkness. And this is why I could never reach him even at the house when I would talk to him. And that's why he and I would fight. I couldn't reach him. I was trying to, but he was under the spell and under the trance. The Dark Lord ended up getting him as well, since I returned to the castle, and I ended up going dark as well, because when I went back into the castle, apparently, I'm back on the Dark Lord's grounds, so he found me and captured me, and I ended up going dark as well for those 21 years. But I pulled through. I'm going to say Jesus brought me through. I pulled through in the end and am back now again. I have my light and my life back again, and the spell and the trance has been broken. It's been shattered over me. I know it's no longer over me anymore. And now my dad can come back as well. He just has to go back to being that knight, Knight, like a knight in shining armor. He has to go back to being that knight with the silver armor on again. And he has to become his old light and life and shine again, because silver, it shines, it's white. It shines like light. So he just has to go back to being his old self again, his noble knight, silver shining light again, and just reverse the darkness. Instead of having darkness in him, he'll have light in him again. The Dark Lord is gone. The spell has been broken. The prison cells have been opened. And the people who were kept in bondage for the Dark Lord to feed upon, so that he could take their light and life from them, is gone also. The people who were kept in bondage are now free to walk. They're free to leave. They're free to go. The spell's been broken. The trance has been broken. The Dark Lord is no more. Go, people. Go and be free. Dad, you too. I love you, Christine.